Alrighty, welcome out there. Welcome to everybody who is seeing this on Zoom or streaming live on Facebook or afterwards on Hoova or afterwards on our YouTube Fiddle Hell channel. Welcome to all of you, and we hope to see you pretty soon at Fiddle Hell, coming up April 15th through 18th. 200 workshops, 35 jams, 35 concerts with wonderful people. So, we've got some instructors who are going to play you a little music and talk about what they're going to be teaching. Today we've got, in this order, Bruce Molsky, Shauna Eisenberg, Tom Collins, Julie Lyonn Lieberman, Oliver Scanlon and Pete Sutherland, Eric McDonald, and by video appearance, Jay Unger and Molly Mason, and Dave Reiner, that's me. I get to bring up in the rear. So they're each going to take 7 or 8 minutes, play a little bit of music. We'll start with Bruce Molsky. He's a fiddler and he plays mostly old time, and I will turn it over to you, Bruce.
Thank you, Dave. It's great to be part of Fiddle Hell, even in 2 dimensions instead of 3. And looking forward to this virtual gathering of musicians. We're all here to learn, and see some old friends as well. And I know I've been involved in this event in various capacities for a long time, and as long as you all ask me, I'll keep coming back because I love it. So, I do play a few different kinds of fiddle, mostly old-time Southern Appalachian fiddle. So I might as well play something like that. How about a little bit of Ladies on the Steamboat? Tunes from that one's from Kentucky. You know, part of the deep dive into this music is listening to the sources, and I'm going to be teaching a few different workshops and participating in various things. Most of this is this year for me is geared toward people who are just getting their feet on the ground with the music, and I'm really excited about that. And it's had me thinking really, really hard about what it felt like to pick this thing up for the first time. And I thank Dave for putting my workshops in an order that might make some sense if you're willing to do a whole lot of woodshedding, because my first workshop on Thursday at 4 p.m., and these are all Eastern times that I'm giving you, is going to be beginning fiddle. I called it Start Your Engines, and because I like cars. And we're just going to take the very, very basics, and we're going to do the very, very thing at the outset that that I think even somebody like me who's been playing a long, long time still thinks about. And not how to do it. Step back one step. What do you want to do? What do you want to do when you play an instrument? You want to engage people. You want to tell a story. And if you've got a story to tell and you've got 8 or 10 or 15 words in the English language, or 2,000, you can tell a story either way. So we're just going to start with the most basic words that you need to speak in this language. Manipulate the bow in a really simple kind of way, and put some simple melodies down there, and work on our muscle memory, which is something I think that a lot of the teachers who teach in the oral tradition like I do will pound on you all the time about, which is to do something fast as you can to where it's still right, and really just drill it into where you don't have to think about it. Once you know it, you're able to think that much further ahead about what comes next, and your music gets better. So that's Thursday at 4. Friday, we're going to have a repertoire session. And this is geared toward, it's listed as low intermediate. So presumably between Thursday and Friday, you will have been gone from a beginner to being a low intermediate, and you can join us and learn a few tunes. But seriously, there are a lot of tunes that are popular in the jams, and I'm sure we'll pull out some of them. We've got a big, beautiful tune list that you can reference on the Fiddle Hell website as well, and we're going to be drawing on a lot of that. The repertoire session for me is important, not just to get you next to a few things, but also because this festival to me is, with all the different styles we're plowing into, is really about celebrating multiculturalism. And I played a lot of music from the black string band tradition for years. We're going to touch on some of those tunes, some tunes that are influenced by other cultures. We might even do a little Métis fiddling. So stay tuned for that. It'll be a lot of fun. Then on Sunday, I'll tell you about the last thing first, an old-time jam. So play just a bunch of tunes, once again from the Common Tunes list, and just have a good time. That's the have a good time thing after having busted your cookies all weekend long, learning to get better on your instrument. But and that's 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Before that, at 2:30, I'm really excited I'm going to be interviewed by my friend and my Berklee College of Music colleague, Jason Anick, and also accompanied by Ross Holmes. And they've got a series, I'm reading off a sheet of paper here. It's called The Search for Sound. So we're going to have a certain amount of time to find sound, I guess. But we're just going to have a nice conversation. They haven't hit me with the questions yet, but I'm sure they'll be interesting. So that's kind of what I've got cooking for you. One of the things I love to do with the fiddle is sing. If anybody's in the mood, we might do a little bit of that too. And so I've got a minute left in my 8-minute slot here, and I'm just going to close with a whole lot of notes in a short period of time and sing a little verse of something nonsense over the top of it. So it's great to see all of you, and please tell your friends. Look us up on Facebook, fiddlehell.org. You've been there. That's why you're here. And we'll see you shortly.
Where'd you get your whiskey? Where'd you get your dram? Got it from a little boy down in Rockingham. Rocky Road, Cindy, Rocky Road, Sam. Rocky Road, Cindy, down in Rockingham. I went down Rockingham, did not go to state. Fell in love with a pretty little gal, could not get away. Rocky Road, Cindy, Rocky Road, Sam. Rocky Road, Cindy, down in Rockingham. Rocky Road, Cindy, Rocky Road, Sam. Rocky Road, Cindy, down in Rockingham.
See you soon, and thank you. And I'm going to excuse myself because I have to take care of a paper cut. I got cutting up cardboard boxes, and I'm bleeding all over my fiddle. So, y'all take care. See you soon.
Thank you, Bruce. That's great.
You're very welcome.
And I'll just mention Rachel Eddy and Brittany Haas are also old-time fiddle teachers there for the first time that we've had them. That's really great. So next up is Shauna Eisenberg. I think fiddle, mandolin, and guitar. You may be playing all three of those this time and covering klezmer and some theory. And I'll turn it over to you to play just a little bit and talk about what you'll be teaching.
Great, thanks. Hi, thanks, Dave. Hi, everyone. I'm going to be co-leading a klezmer jam on Saturday night with Beverly Woods. So I'm going to start off with a klezmer tune here called Lively and Happy. So, as I said, Saturday night at 10 p.m. on the 17th, we'll be doing an hour of klezmer music with mandolin and fiddle and piano, maybe some accordion, and then working from the beginning on 10 a.m. on Thursday the 15th. I'll be playing a guitar concert with Eric as well, and I'll be doing a wide variety of guitar music, some slide guitar, some fiddle tunes, a couple of original tunes probably in there. And then I'm really excited to be teaching a couple of workshops, theory workshops. First one on Friday the 16th is on chord construction. And I'd like to say right off, whether you play a chordal accompaniment instrument like guitar or mandolin or banjo or piano or fiddle, you can learn a lot about how chords are built, as opposed to when we first learn a stringed instrument, somebody says, well, here's a C chord, and we just put our fingers down and play it. But knowing the notes in it. And even if you're not a chord player, if you play melodies, understanding chords are also really helpful for fiddle players. You can take notes from the chords and turn them into double stops and add them into melodies or whatnot. Also useful for improvisation, like if you know what the notes are in a chord, then you can use those notes while you're improvising. So, and we'll also look at not only how to build the chords like a major chord or a minor chord, but we'll also look at different keys and how there are a certain set of chords that are relative to a key, and which can really help. Like you're in a jam and somebody says, oh, it's in the key of G, and kind of going, okay, everybody looks like they know what that means. And you actually will after our hour together on Friday morning, 10 a.m., chord construction. And then on Saturday morning, the 17th, we're doing a workshop called Tunes a la Mode. And you'll often hear at a jam, people will talk, especially in old-time music, but also in Irish music, people will talk about modal tunes. And we'll look at the European system of modes like Dorian and Mixolydian, and we'll look at how they originated. We'll also look at a comparative approach, which I find really useful as an improviser, rather than thinking about the Dorian mode is built on the second of whatever key. More easy to think about it as having a flat third and a seventh. So this is very useful to understand the theory about what these scales are. And I'll also say that I'll primarily focus in on modes that we find in a lot of the traditional music that we would find in our Fiddle Hell common tune lists. For example, the Mixolydian mode, you already play it, even if you didn't know what it was called, because if you play Old Joe Clark or Red Haired Boy or Kitchen Girl, you play that scale. And the Dorian mode, if you play the Road to Lisdon Varna, you're already playing that mode. So we're going to relate it to tunes, and that's for any melodic instrument. Chord players welcome too, because you can learn to understand a lot about it. So I think that's all those are the 4 things I'm doing through the course of the weekend. And so excited to be part of Fiddle Hell again, and thank the Reiners and Reiners and for keeping music and music festivals and jamming all going during this time when we can't all be together in person.
Thank you, Shauna. I bet those theory workshops are going to be great. Shauna's theory workshops always get the highest ratings on the survey. I'll point out from a mandolin standpoint, Sharon Gilchrist and Andy Statman are also going to be at Fiddle Hell for the first time this year.
Awesome.
And for all you banjo players out there, there's some great banjo teachers. We got Kathy Fink and Riley Bogus for the first time, and we've got Tom Collins, I think, for maybe the 3rd time or so. And I'd like to turn it over to Tom.
Hey, everybody. Thank you, Dave. Thank you for having me back. Yes, this is my 3rd time at Fiddle Hell, and it is an honor. I'm really excited about this spring session. Riley Bogus is one of my all-time heroes, so I will be at some of his classes. And Kathy Fink is also one of my great banjo heroes. I can't wait to take classes. I'll be right alongside you guys taking those classes with you. I'm doing 2 classes, and the first one I'm doing is on, the Banjo Variations class is on April 18th. I'm going to work in reverse, because I want to save the best for last. So my second class that I'm teaching is on April 18th at 10 a.m., and that is Banjo Variations. And I think of these tunes as stories, even simple tunes with a single chord, I think of as stories. And as a banjo player, I think of what characters are in those stories, what kind of arc are my stories going to have. And we're going to talk a lot about that in Banjo Variations. So I'm going to work partly from a theory perspective. We're going to talk about chords. We're going to talk about double stops and harmonized pairs of notes that you can use to create variations. But we're also going to talk about variations by subtraction, which is one of my favorite ways to think about old-time music. Instead of adding stuff on top, I like to take things away until there's almost nothing left, and then I put the frosting back on the cake. So we're going to be doing some of that. We will be working from chords, so having some background is going to be helpful to you. It is a level 3. And I'm going to keep it pretty simple. We won't get too bogged down in theory, but we'll do a little theory and a little bit of sort of underpinnings of how clawhammer works. Excited about that. And the next class, the first one I'm teaching, is on April 16th. It's at 2:30 p.m. I'm really excited about this one. Dave is letting me teach Introduction to Fretless Banjo. So I have a quick story and then I'll play you a tune. 20 years ago, I started playing banjo. And about 6 months into playing banjo, I had the great idea of buying a fretless banjo, kind of like an idiot. And the fretless banjo came in, and I was really bad at it. I was terrible. Luckily, Banjo Camp North was not too far away, so I threw it in the trunk of my 81 Volvo, drove to Banjo Camp North, hoping to pawn it off on some unsuspecting banjo player. But there was a class being taught, so I couldn't sell it in the parking lot, so I decided to take a class on Intro to Fretless. And actually, that person who taught that class was here. He started this session tonight. His name was Bruce Mulsky. And I took that class. I walked out of that hour and I knew how to play fretless banjo. Not great, but I knew how to make it sound good from Bruce. And the second thing I walked out of that class with was a vocation, a calling. And now I do this for a career. So I'm really excited to share with you what Bruce showed me and what I've learned in the 20 years since. And why don't I play us out with a little fretless banjo music. Speaking of modal, here we go. Roustabout.
Did you get them high-top shoes, a dress that you wear so fine? Got my shoes from a railroading man, and the dress is from a driver in the mine. Oh, hop high, hop high, my Lulu girl. Roustabout, oh roustabout, where have you been so long? Been in the pen with them rough and rowdy men, and honey, I'm going back again. Oh, hop high, hop high, my Lulu girl. Hop high, my Lulu girl.
See you at Fiddle Hell, everybody.
Thank you. Tom Collins there playing some wonderful banjo. Little Zoom applause here. That's great. Riley Bogus and Kathy Fink also there for the first time. We're going to move on and talk about Julie Lyonn Lieberman, who's going to be bringing fiddle technique and some electric stuff to Fiddle Hell, and I'll turn it over to you, Julie.
All right. Well, it's so wonderful to hear this beautiful music tonight. It's very uplifting. I'm going to start with a tune by the African-American jazz bassist Larry Ridley. I haven't played this for decades. I learned it when on a mini tour with the historic jazz violinist Joe Kennedy Jr. He brought it to me to learn for us to play together. And I don't know, it just floated in for Fiddle Hell for some reason. And you have to pretend I'm on an electric. Sunday evening, you don't want to hear an amplified instrument, do you? Okay, I've got a little backing track here. So I'm going to do a quick maneuver here to get this on.
Wow, cool tune.
Yeah.
You just have about 2 minutes or so on your
Got
workshop.
it. Yep. Well, I'm doing 3 sessions. Thursday night, 7 to 8, looping and electric concert with Matt Bell and Rob Flax. Looking forward to that. And on Friday from 11:30 to 12:30, paradiddles, one of my favorite things, asymmetrical and symmetrical string crossing. And let's see, also on Friday from 4 to 5, 5 ways to learn a fiddle tune. We often end up learning things in haphazard manners, but I've spent 40 years studying what I call the musical brain and the different learning centers for music. So we're going to be getting into some cool ways to learn tunes. And always a pleasure to teach at Fiddle Hell. Just love it, and eternal gratitude to the Reiner family for staging such an awesome, awesome event. Thank you.
Thank you. And when's your next Strings Without Boundaries coming up?
Strings Without Boundaries, July 8th to the 11th, and Jean-Luc Ponty is thinking about joining us. I've got my fingers crossed, man.
Excellent.
If he's not on European tour, he'll be with us. Yeah.
So we're cross promoting with Julie and with a bunch of other camps, and I think that's great. So let's move on to a little bit more New England, or actually a mixture of styles, from Oliver Scanlon on fiddle and Pete Sutherland on fiddle and maybe piano. I will turn it over to the two of you.
Thanks, Dave.
Hey, folks.
We were instructed to lean in, so we're leaning in.
Here we are, leaning in. Great to be with you. Happy Fiddle Hell already. Can't wait. We're going to play you a little bit of a New England tune, since we're doing
a little welcome contradance tune. We've got a welcome contradance tune jam that we're starting out Fiddle Hell with on Friday the 16th at 5:30.
That's it.
And we'll have a little fun with some stuff like this.
All right. This is Captain Kidd. 2, 3, 4. There you go. Okay. Join us at the Jam. That's Friday the 16th, 5:30. Welcome new. It says welcome Contradance. Right, yeah. Contradancing. What's that? We haven't been to one lately, have you? But this will probably bring back a lot of the happy energy of contradancing. So bring any instrument that...
at least try to inspire that.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know, maybe if someone will get up and dance in the middle.
That would be awesome, yeah. Yeah, we could call Money Mask.
In the middle of the Zoom circle. So our other little event at Fiddle Hell is going to be a New England Fiddle Tunes concert, also on Friday night the 15th at 7 p.m. And we're joining Lissa Schneckenberger, Corey DeMario, and Frank Farrell for that concert. Already looking forward to that. few weeks out.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll,
Great mix of old friends there.
we'll probably mix some things up in terms of styles and what we like to do there.
Yeah.
And you'll also see me around and about Fiddle Hell online all weekend long. I get to be a part of the tech crew as well. I'm being a Zoom coordinator, so I'll be jumping back and forth and in between and through and down the ones and zeros to a lot of different sessions. So I look forward to running into all of you.
That's
There.
great that you can stay so busy and stay out of trouble.
That's right. Dave keeps me out of trouble at Fiddle Hell.
We appreciate that back here on the home front. Me, I stay in all kinds of trouble, but it's good trouble, as John Lewis said. It's good trouble. So we're going to play you a set of jigs. The first one is traditional Irish jig, I think, Maids of Selma.
Yeah.
We're going to kind of take a little bit of a dreamy approach to this, and then we're actually going to play two co-writes. One thing that we've enjoyed doing in the past at Fiddle Hell is a little workshop on co-writing fiddle tunes, which we've been doing for years, it seems like, for years. So here's a couple of kind of newish ones called The Single Digits and
Via Gap.
Via Gal. You can message us to find out what those are.
What the heck that means.
What are we talking about? Exactly. All right. Thanks so much. See you at Fiddle Hell.
Hey, we're happy to have you back, Pete. I don't know how many years you've been coming, but it's a lot. And Oliver, there's no putting up sound systems for a change until we're back to face, whenever that happens. Excellent. So Rodney Miller, by the way, is joining kind of on the New England side and also reinforcing writing some originals too. For guitar players, yes, it is Fiddle Hell, but there's a lot for guitar as well as mandolin, cello, old-time banjo. And Eric McDonald is going to be doing both guitar and mandolin. I don't know what he's got today. Looks like a mandolin. And I will turn it over to Eric, who's going to be teaching Irish, New England, technique, all kinds of good things.
Yeah, we'll cover a lot, I guess. Hey, everyone. It's really good to be here. Good to see everyone in this virtual setting. This will be, I guess, my first time actually instructing at Fiddle Hell, although that feels a bit like an unhappy accident to me. I've known a lot of these people for a long time, so it feels like a familiar place. But I think Shauna mentioned that we're going to start off with a bright and early guitar concert on Thursday, the Great Guitar Concert. I'll be well caffeinated, as you can see, and I'm going to sing a lot of ballads that come from England and Scotland and Ireland, mostly inspired by players from the folk revival in the 70s and 80s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. Maybe I'll give you a taste of that later. Later on Thursday at 7 p.m., I'm teaching a workshop called Celtic Ornamentation for the Mandolin. That's a dreaded word. It's mostly going to be Irish and Scottish, but I chose that word because these are sort of borrowed techniques from other instruments that fit very well in Irish and Scottish. We'll talk a lot about that. But they also fit in Breton music and other sort of traditions that borrow from Celtic music or have similar roots, such as Quebecois music and things like that, New England music as well. So all of these ornaments can be sort of used in lots of different places. So I'm going to play you a tune now. It's called The Broken Pledge. I got it from the playing of Frankie Gavin and then sort of morphed it into my own version. So. So we'll talk about a bunch of those different ornaments and sort of break down the technical aspects of them, and then also talk about practice techniques for how you can sort of seamlessly incorporate those into your playing, or at least the process that I use to do that sort of in a musical fashion. So that's what we're going to do on Thursday night. And then on Sunday morning, for those of you who have never played the dadgad guitar, I'm going to teach you the basics, an intro to dadgad guitar. So we'll talk about right hand technique and traditional music, Irish music, New England music, music that you play for contra dances or at sessions. We'll talk about a lot of the right hand. We'll do some basic chords. We'll talk about playing in some sort of closed position areas, and then also going up and down the neck. And we'll talk about using drone strings a lot, sort of the strength of what makes dadgad cool or unique, at least as opposed to other tunings. So if you've never played dadgad, or if you're curious or you want a refresher or anything like that, it's going to be a great time. Both of these workshops are going to come with materials, so you'll be able to work on it later on. And I think I'll just close off by singing you a quick song. This is one of those ballads I was talking about. Thanks, guys.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Eric McDonald, teaching guitar and mandolin on guitar. We're really happy to have Reverend Robert Jones there for the first time on blues guitar and performing some really interesting entertainment and historical lookbacks. Also, Marcy Marxer on swing guitar, a bit of bluegrass and a bit of old time. And we're running a little short on time. There's enough for one more person, and that happens to be me. So I'll tell you a little bit about what I'm teaching at Fiddle Hell. The last time I taught 3 workshops that I thought were really nice, and I didn't want to teach them again, but I did put the videos back up in the April Fiddle Hell. So if you're on Whova, you can see those anytime you want, including, I believe you can see them now if you get on Whova. One is how to learn tunes by ear. Another is making sense of chords. And the third one is essential bowing patterns. All 3 of them have really nice handouts that you're welcome to download. And they're all stuck at Sunday at 11 p.m. You can do a search for Dave if you want in the agenda, or just look at Sunday at 11 p.m. You can replay those before Fiddle Hell, during Fiddle Hell, or in the 3 months after Fiddle Hell. So what I'm teaching in April, I will be leading off the Saturday night concert, as I generally do. And by the way, my son Andy Reiner is going to be the MC of that, and that should be amazing. And I'm going to do fiddle tunes that start with Hell. So maybe that'll be Hell Among the Yearlings, maybe Hell Up Coal Holler. Let me pick up my fiddle. Little bit of Hell Up Coal Holler. Kind of an old-time tune in the key of C. Hell Up Coal Holler. Might do Hell Among the Yearlings. There's a couple other Hell tunes. I'm also going to do, and that'll be Sunday at 11:30, level 2 to 3. I'm doing double shuffle bowing. You just heard Jay do a little bit of that on Wizard's Walk. But we'll do it on Buck Fever Rag. It's the same thing people do on Orange Blossom Special. It's pyrotechnics, a nice syncopated bowing that goes over 2 measures. That'll be Friday, 1 p.m., level 3 and level 4, so advanced, intermediate to advanced, high intermediate to advanced. Then Andy and I are going to co-teach one, and actually we have a pretty extensive handout. That'll work for readers, it'll help teachers, and it's about teaching how to make Irish fiddle tunes come alive. And it takes some very simple tunes. I'm going to be doing a jig, and you'll be working with a reel. And if you take something that's just the notes, not very exciting, but so we'll show you about warbles and flicks of the finger and rolls and slides and crossing over the bar lines with your bowing, all the things that kind of make the tune come alive. So that should be pretty interesting. And again, we have a pretty extensive handout for that. We're just about out of time here. This is the third in our series of 4 where the Fiddle Hell instructors are kind of telling you what we're going to be teaching, what you'll be hearing. And I've put them all up on youtube.com/fiddlehell, which is our YouTube channel. They are also in Whova. And of course, since we're broadcasting live to Facebook right now, they're in the Fiddle Hell Facebook group, Fiddle Hell, Massachusetts. So hope to see all of you at Fiddle Hell. Tell your friends about it. We still have another 9 or 10 days to sign up, and we could use a few more people. and we'll see you all in hell. Thanks so much to Bruce Mulsky, who kicked us off today, Shauna Eisenberg, Tom Collins, Julie Lyonn Lieberman, Oliver Scanlon and Pete Sutherland, Eric McDonald, Jay and Molly, and Andy also for sitting in and helping us out with the technical behind-the-scenes stuff. See you all soon. Thanks.